Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Games with Web3 Frens. My name is Lacey. I'm the co-founder of Meta Intro here with Chjango from Cosmos.
Hi.
So I'm sure everybody watching is somewhat familiar with Cosmos, but can you tell us what Cosmos is from a super easy to understand, my grandma didn't really understand this point of view?
That's a challenge, okay. Maybe if I ELI 10, it's Cosmos is an interoperability protocol. What that means is we were the pioneers of the concept of cross-chain. So we were very early on in conceptualizing a standard cross-chain communication protocol, because the idea is that if we want to bring in a future of Web3, as in an internet of blockchains, in Cosmos Church we call it the interchain, the internet of blockchains, then you need some kind of TCP/IP layer for that. So that's what Cosmos has built. We were very early on in even coming up with the idea of cross-chain when the paradigm was very much about everything being running on top of Ethereum. So yeah, maybe that was a little bit like ELI 17, but hopefully Grandma understands.
Hi Grandma. Oh, whoops. Tell me about the Cosmos team.
The Cosmos team today is pretty fragmented. It used to be a single team. We started building in 2017 and launched mainnet, I believe it was 2019, if my memory serves me correctly. And then, stuff happens, right, as they do with little startups. And then people break up, but they've never left the Cosmos and kept pushing forward. And so the metaphor that I like to use is Cosmos, like space, is ever expanding. So even though there's no core anymore, we have continued building on across the ecosystem and pushing the boundaries of the entire network. So we went from 0 app chains to now over 274 live app chains, and counting. It's continuing to expand, and we are the second largest organic developer ecosystem in the space sector to Ethereum.
That's awesome.
And that's testament to how forward-looking the product is. We have an SDK that lets anyone build their own app chain, the application-specific blockchain, and we have IBC live. And out of the 274 chains that are live, more than 60 have connected through IBC. And so this internet of blockchain's future is really becoming a thing.
Very cool. So what I'm hearing is Cosmos has organically spread because of the great tool set, because of the interoperability, and because of the word of mouth.
Yeah, pretty much. Word of mouth was a lot of it, and there's also the great vision and a great product.
So are you guys hiring? Or are you always hiring?
There's 274 app chains, right?
Yeah.
So any of those are hiring at any point in time. So there's plenty of opportunity. It's just a matter of picking and choosing which one that fits you culturally.
And we'll drop the link below to find out what companies are hiring that are building on Cosmos. So check out the description below. So tell me a little bit about your experience in Web3. How long have you been in this space personally? What was the moment that brought you in?
Yeah, so little history about me. I got into crypto, or Bitcoin rather, in 2014. I am wearing this space outfit because I worked at JPL NASA, the Mars laboratory. But at the same time, that was a 9-to-5 job to me. So I left that work and then went full on into Bitcoin. But there was nothing paying in 2014 to get into Bitcoin, so I was, hosting meetups and providing educational content around it, but really wasn't profitable or wasn't really paid until Cosmos. So I was part of the team at Cosmos when we were 10 people. And the only non-engineer, and that's when I started building the community.
That's great. tips and tricks for building a community. A lot of the people that are listening most likely are interested in that type of position.
Yeah.
So what are some tips, tricks, fun facts that you can give to help somebody land a job in that space?
Yeah. So because infrastructure is very different from an NFT project or NFT marketplace, or whatever else someone might be building a community for, you have to contextualize it in that sense. Because, well, for us, because when we started, it was a highly technical infrastructure project, and not a whole lot of people get it. But who would get it are developers. So we doubled down there and spoke developer language, did a lot of educational onboarding, making it easier for developers to launch their own app chains.
Yep.
So that was the direction, for onboarding. Hackathons are the best user acquisition tool if developers are your target audience. People in the crypto industry don't necessarily look up to people who have like wage-paying jobs, like a secure 9 to 5, right? It's looked down on now. And it's actually
crazy.
Yeah, right. It's this like inverse thing now, where if you're saving up for a pension, you're kind of, I don't know, mid.
Yeah.
and if,
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're non-employed, living in your basement, but maybe you launched something from your mama's basement, you are the star that the crypto industry looks up to.
Yeah.
So with Cosmos, we've done something similar, but it's more of like we've over-optimized for technologists because we need them to, right? Like a technologist, so DYDS is one of our biggest product validations that we've had, because they looked at all the options that were available in the industry and they said, well, Cosmos actually addresses all of our needs.
Yep.
And
that's great.
It was a huge market validation. So
yeah, they're massive. So outside of community building, do you have any insights, tips, tricks, recommendations for people who are just thinking about making that first career transition into Web3? It seems super scary. Like, for instance, not being able to understand who does what and what it means to them as a job seeker, and there's so much buzz and so much excitement that can be a little overwhelming for people that are like, I think I want to be in this industry, but where do I start? Do you have any insight?
To get into this industry, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, right? Obviously, if you are risk averse or looking for something more stable, this industry is not for you. But if you're willing to take the risk, you're right.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, sadly. But that being said, if you are entrepreneurial, then this is probably something for you, right?
Yeah.
If you like building product, or anyway, if your risk profile is there, then this may be something that I think it comes down to first principles about your willingness to take risk.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out Cosmos in the description below, and we'll catch you on the next one.